Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your December 2020 money and career reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I am uploading new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra, December 2020 money and career. 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 Libra. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Fantastic. And 2 bonus cards. And let's see your chakra energy for this time. Libra, December 2020 money and career. Libra, December 2020 money and career. Libra, December 2020 money and career. Libra. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic, these 4. And we'll see how they all equate to the tarot in just a moment, but we're going to set them up right now. So we have determination. This is the solar plexus chakra. Then we have angels and masters, angels and spirit guides. This is the soul star chakra, located 6 inches above your crown. You have life purpose. This is the throat chakra. And you have soul's healing. This is, again, the soul star chakra located 6 inches above your crown. Now, the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And, of course, your 2 bonus cards. So we have here the King of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. That's really quite beautiful. Then we have the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The King of Cups is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. The Moon, strong Pisces presence. Time frame February 19th to March 20th. The Tower, that makes perfect sense. The Three of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune. The Six of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And the Ten of Swords. You have the repeat of the number 10 here. Actually, you have the number 10 3 times. So you're very much coming to the conclusion of a cycle here, Libra. You have the Nine of Swords. And yourself coming forward. You are represented by the Justice card in the Major Arcana. You are represented by the Swords in the Minor Arcana. So you're coming through as a student in the Minor Arcana and as the pure essence of yourself in the Major Arcana. All right. So let's see here the people you need to be see the people who are going to aid you during this time. And then we will look at the people to be mindful of later on. Libra, who will be aiding Libra, December 2020 money and career? Who will be aiding Libra, December 2020 money and career? Who will be aiding Libra, December 2020 money and career? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic, these 4. So we have Cernunnos, which is Capricorn energy, time frame December 22nd to January 19th. Now these people who will be aiding, you don't have to know them in real life. They can be really bringing forward a lot of inspiration, a lot of greater understanding to you. And there is a sense here as the doors open, things become more you. And that's going to be something, and I was even seeing this as I was meditating upon the cards before even starting, that there is something here where there is nastiness that people say. There's a sense of people doubting your dreams or having you question yourself and what you desire and the way you are to move forward. And it becomes overwhelming. It really does. And you sit there and you think, how do I get to be who it is that I want to be? And during this time with the Cernunnos energy coming forward, this is a person where, for good or for bad, they are themselves. The Cernunnos energy is this spirit of the forest. It's like, for good or for bad, I am me. You know, the grass might become overgrown, the vines might creep up your cottage, but I am me. And that's what you have to say here to yourself. And that's the energy that you're really embracing during this time, is that I am me. And this person helps you kind of break down that barrier, see that truth. And then you have here the Aquarius energy. Time frame is January 20th to February 18th. This is a person who pours the healing waters into the world, who sits there and moves forward with a sense of love, with understanding, and with grace of self. And they help you embrace just that peace. It doesn't have to be anything more than you feel very peaceful when you listen to their music, or you feel very peaceful when you hear their voice, or, you know, read their words, or something to that effect. It brings you right into the place where you need to be, soul and spirit. And then we have the King of Swords. Now, air sign energy calls to air sign energy. So you're going to feel very drawn to this person, just as you feel very drawn to the Aquarius energy, because, of course, Aquarius is air sign energy. The King of Swords is somebody who cuts through doubts and fears. They are a very blunt speaker. Now, you yourself, Libra, can be a very blunt speaker, so this will also kind of call to you. But you also have to remember that they will be blunt in the way that they see things. Now, is this going to be necessarily 150% or even 100% true for you? No, they get to stay with their ideas in the way that they see the world, but you get to stay with the way that you see your world and the way that you want to be moving forward. We have life purpose here and soul's healing and your angels protecting you. So there is this sense here where this person speaks their truth and you're like, wait a minute, if you can speak your truth, why can't I speak my truth? Why is it that it can be, you know, somebody who's very very forthright with their ideas, very much thinks that they're right, you're wrong, you're welcome. They'll help you change who it is that you are to be better, to be more prosperous, to be more of what you need to be in their eyes. And so here, this energy of I know my truth and I'm cutting through the malarkey to get to my truth, that's going to be so important to you here, Libra. It's like stand in your power, stand in your truth, and let the naysayers, let them be jerks. Let them be jerks and stand in your power. And then we have here the King of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Right now, even with Sir Nunus is neither male nor female, though right now he is coming forward as, and I say here because he has the horns on his head and he's usually represented as a male forest god. So even though he doesn't have a gender because he is of the forest, he does have a gender when people speak about him because Cernunnos is male. So here you have this way of kings that is really coming forward with you. And you're going to be very drawn to people who are passionate, who have a way of speaking their truth, knowing what they desire, knowing what they're looking at, knowing what they want, and embracing the fires of who they are and where it is that they want to be. Because during this time, your solar plexus chakra, the essence of yourself, your gut, is telling you to swim against the norm and to swim in your truth. And why this is against the norm is because a lot of times when we look at what everybody else wants from us and how the world is, and we look at ourselves and we think, oh, I'm different, I'm different and it's bad. Here's the thing, it's not. It's not bad to be different. It's not bad to not think like everybody else. That's where the great inspiration comes from. Now, are you going to be able to be like Michelangelo? No, probably not. I mean, most people aren't. So when we look at things, we think, oh, it's either I have to be, a Da Vinci, a Michelangelo, just somebody who is so renowned and so well known, or else I'm worthless. And that's not true at all. That is not true at all. And you're swimming upstream because you're swimming against the emotional currents of others, but you're also swimming against the emotional current of yourself at times. The sense of worry, doubt, fear, oh my gosh, I've made a mistake. I can't believe it. I was so excited about it and now I've messed up and everything's falling apart and this is where I am now and it's all just a mess and how could I have been so stupid? You go through these things in your head and it's just what we as human beings do. We get mad at ourselves and we put it all on our shoulders. And here you have this power that you're moving forward with, but you also have these nightmares that you're moving against. And you do have the way of kings with you, with the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles here. You have the Queen of Wands, so you're embracing your fire, your passion, your truth, and it is bringing forward a new world. And your heart is illuminating you in such a way that you hadn't realized. And you find yourself really moving towards the place that you need to be, body, mind, spirit, and soul. And there are going to be times here where you think, who the heck are you? That's what you're going to think about the people who naysay, about the people who make you doubt the way that you're moving forward. Like, who the heck are you? Why do you get to have the say in my life, or even think you have a say in my life? Because this isn't going to be somebody who you're close to that's saying, oh, Libra, maybe you look at it this way, or, let's have a discussion about it. They're not actually going to be a person who wants to help. They are going to be a judgy, neurotic person who sits there and thinks that they know best, their life is perfect, and if you could just follow them, everything would be great. And I can feel, there's such a frustration around the throat chakra, but also the heart chakra here, that it really does need to be addressed. It's definitely pooling in the throat chakra. So when you have your angels and your spirit guides around you, they're probably going to be keeping you from saying something that later on you might not regret saying it, because you're definitely going to mean it, definitely. But you might regret the way that it is said, or, when it was said. And so here, it's like standing your truth. Your angels are guarding you. Your angels are with you. They're moving you forward. They're opening up doors. You're gaining insights, power, understanding, and blessings. So keep moving forward in that love, in that truth, and in that beauty of purpose and power of soul. Because your angels, their wings form a heart around you. They protect you with love. And they move you to divinity's calling. And as you're moved to divinity's calling, you start looking at your life purpose. And here's the thing. Everybody's life purpose is not going to be something great and show-stopping. Sometimes our life purpose is to be the best parent, the best partner, the best teacher, the best, gardener person that we can be. It doesn't matter what it is. So we think of our life purpose, and we think of movie stars, and we think of rock stars, and we think of everybody knowing our names and just being so terribly famous because of everything that we've done. But here's the thing. Fame doesn't actually buy happiness. If fame did, everybody who was famous would be unbelievably happy, and the tabloids would have nothing to write about. Here, life purpose is ascending in your truth of your heart, your soul, and yourself. It is knowing that you are enough as you move in your greatness, as you move towards where it is that you want to be, as you look at your life and say, okay, there's still things that I am striving for, there's still ways that I am ascending, but I am enough in my here and my now to really start to conquer and really embrace what it is that I desire. And that leads you to soul's healing. That leads you to a sense with the soul star chakra, with healing coming over you and healing moving you forward and love guiding you. And you can feel this warmth wrap around you at times, really pulling in your hands especially, but also in the soles of your feet and at the top of your crown. And so here, as this love and this light comes forward, here as you are steadied, you start to embrace what your heart truly wants. And the thing that I love about the King of Cups is that the King of Cups looks at the world and he says, okay, that's the world. The only person that I can control within this world is me. You have people who love you. You have your angels and your spirit guides who are around you. But the only person that we ever have any control over in this world is ourselves. I see that with my nephew, who isn't even 2 yet. And he has such his own personality, and he will be doing what he wants to do, and you have to rein him in at times. And I think you're so little, and yet you can't be, you are your own person. And that only continues. I don't know if you can hear him in the background. That only continues, as we grow. We become our own person. We listen to others. People can scare us and, make us think, oh, we have to do things this way or that way in order to be, right and just and everything like that. But if we aren't true to ourselves, if we aren't ruling our hearts and our souls with love, compassion, and kindness, saying, this is who I am, this is what I strive for, this is what I need and what I want and what I love within my life, then we never rise. And the King of Cups, he rises. He is a king. He is passion, he is power, he is brilliance, he is truth. And he walks in his glory, and he ascends in his power, and he understands so much more than people ever realize. Because he's not going to be sitting there, spouting it to everybody. He's going to be ruling his life. Every now and then, the King of Cups comes out and, shares their wisdom. They just do. But it's not going to be a sense here of you becoming like preachy to people, those people who think they found the way, and then they have to tell everybody because, they are being nice. But then there are also the people who say, well, if you don't do things exactly my way and I found the right way, then obviously you're wrong. And it's like, okay, maybe step back just a little bit, because what's right for you isn't going to be right for everybody else. This is you in deep communion with your heart, your soul, what you desire. This is why your life purpose is guarded by your angels, by the soul's healing of the universe, okay? Because you are really tapping into what your heart desires personally, passionately, and prosperously to lead you forward in your inner self. And it brings you to the Page of Swords. Your heart is connecting with your mind. And as your heart connects with your mind, you become a student of what your heart desires, of what you truly need, of what you truly want. You cut through the doubts, the fears, the angers, the upsets, the upheavals, and you say, this is me. You also are learning so much more than you had thought you would be. You're taking things in, and instead of saying, okay, A, then B, and you're like, well, why not jump things around? Why not look at things differently? Why not, take a little bit of a different spin on what it is that's leading me forward and what it is that I truly desire and the knowledge that is around me and the way that everything comes together. And so you're really cutting to the heart of what you desire. And as you do so, you are looking at the fears that are around you, but also the balance that you need to come in. Just like here, you are embracing the King of Cups and saying, I am the ruler of my soul, of myself. And then you become the queen of your passion, of the way that you move forward. And it starts to open up a whole new world to you. It starts to let in a whole new season. And as you're doing this, as being a Page of Swords, as being a student of what it is that you desire, you really start to cut through the negativity of others and say, no, you don't get to judge my life. I mean, they're going to judge your life, right? That's what people do. They sit there and they get all judgy and they frown down at people and they, say mean things and they think, oh, I have the answers and you don't. And that's cool. If you want to think that way, like, let them. But don't let them take the power from your soul and take the beauty from yourself. Don't let them sit there and find you wanting and then be really hurt by what they say because they're going through their own nonsense. And if they're going to be so small-minded within this world to say, oh, well, these are things that I just can't accept within another person, it's like, well, it's not your life. And if the person is moving forward in love, in kindness, in peace, and in harmony, who the heck are you to be so judgy? And this really leads you to the Four of Cups, to seeing a gift from divinity that is coming your way, that isn't going to be the normal gift that we look to be given. We look at something to be fancy and ornate and overwhelming and just oh so beautiful. And it is going to be beautiful, but it's going to be beautiful in the way divinity sees the world. And divinity does not see the world the same way that we ourselves see the world. Divinity sees gifts as in the practicality of the soul, as in the beauty of the self. And so as you open up your heart, your soul, and what you desire to where it is that you need to be, you get this gift. And here it is a very lovely, cup that is being given, but it is quite different than the other cups here. But what you're going to see is that this gift, when divinity gives these gifts, they're more like wooden bowls, okay? And they can be used as cups, but they can also be used as bowls. They're very practical, but they also, in our minds, would seem very primitive. And what's happening here with this gift that's coming in is that when you start to see it and when you start to take in the beauty that is around it and the power that is moving you forward and the grace that is a part of it, you start to look at this gift and instead of saying, oh, it's not very pretty or it's not my taste or anything like that, or it's not really what I'm looking for, you look at the power and the passion that it holds and that it's able to really bring to you. And it's a wealth, it's a spring of inspiration, of knowledge, of understanding that really does move you towards what it is that your heart wants, what it is that you desire. And so the Ten of Cups is opening up your heart, your soul, yourself, and drinking deeply of the desires of your life. And they all live happily ever after. This is beauty, this is grace, this is brilliance, this is power coming in. This is a sense of love really surrounding you. And as this love surrounds you in your inner self, your outer self, you are going through a transformative time. You are looking at all the heartbreaks, all the pains, all the disappointments, all the angers that you have been through in the last 10 years. And you are saying, you know what? Now it is time for me to rise. Instead of letting the hurt bring me down, it is time for me to rise within my power. And within your heart, you really are embracing your passion. This is your reason for getting out of bed in the morning. This is your passion, your desire, the way that you want to move forward, the beauty that is a part of you. And as this opens to you, you're like, oh, I see it. And your heart is really becoming in tune with your passion because there are going to be times here where you think, okay, just get through it. And that could have been your mantra for quite some time, especially when it comes to career, when it comes to moving forward. You're seeing that there's a new beauty because you right here are being a student in your inner self. You have all cups afterwards. So your inner self for your career is really focusing on your heart. And I know it sounds odd to say because people go, Dane, we're talking about career here. Just give it to me straight. Will I be making a lot of money? Will I be advanced in my career? Spirit doesn't speak as straightforwardly as that. There's a million nuances that get to be interpreted differently for each and every person. So here, you are looking at your heart. You're becoming powerful within your heart, within your soul, within what you desire. What does that mean when it comes to career? When it comes to you taking in new information, it means that you're astoundingly receptive. And as you're opening up your third eye, as you're opening up your body, your soul to these desires to move you forward, to what it is that you love and the way that you see your happily ever after, the way that you see the beauty moving you forward, the passion being a part of you. Because everybody, we can boil it all down to keywords. Oh, I want to be happy. But happiness means different things to each and every person. Oh, I want to be, successful. Success means different things to each and every person. So here, you're looking at what it means for you. And you're seeing yourself starting to move forward in what you love. Your heart is going to be so important to you during this time because if your heart isn't in it, you're going to find that it doesn't matter. And you could sit there and say, okay, well, Dane, my job is just my job. It pays the bills, it gets the job done, and then I have something on the side that I love. Or I don't really have anything that I love, but I have a whole bunch of responsibilities. And so here, it's looking at what brings your heart this spark of joy. And it can just be a small spark. And it's starting to build off of that every day, every other day, to keep you going, because it's going to open up your mind and you're going to start to see things differently. And as you're embracing what you love, you're seeing the gifts that once seemed so ungifty, just they didn't seem right. It then leads you to your passion moving you forward. It's like, oh wow, this is what it's all about. This is what I desire. This is what I need. This is who I am. And so you become a queen. And a queen isn't as showy as a king, though the King of Cups is astoundingly demure. But the Queen of Wands is like, this is my passion. This is my desire. I don't need to be center stage. I am going to move forward in the truth of myself through the power of my soul. And that is going to lead me to where I need to be. You're not afraid to roll up your sleeves. You're not afraid to let your heart really guide you forward. And it leads you to facing fears, doubts, angers, upsets, upheavals that the moon brings. The moon shows us our doubts. The moon shows us who we are when the craziness of the world is taken away. It's almost like during this time of 2020 has been a powerful time of the moon. It shows us what we're afraid of, but it also shows us what we truly value when everything is boiled down, just like the 10 of Cups. It shows us what we value when everything is boiled down. The 10 of Cups is not only receiving gifts that bring the happily ever after, it's seeing what your happily ever after is. It's seeing what those gifts are to you and what they mean to you. You are opening up your heart here to saying, okay, I understand my fear. I understand and respect fear. I get it. It has been programmed into me. We as human beings have been hunter-gatherers way longer than we have been the civilized people that we are today, right? And so here, when we see fear, the way that we react is fight or flight. So the fight can be, verbal fighting, physical fighting. It can be, trying to work things out in our minds. All right, worrying is a form of fighting. All right, flight is just like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out. And that worked for us. That worked for us for an astoundingly long time. You have a problem coming forward, and it's a bear, it's a wolf, it's, bad campgrounds. You leave. You have to leave because that's what's going to preserve you. But now we don't have those same types of fears in everyday life. At least most of us do not. And so here it's looking at the pains and the hurts and the anger of the soul. It's looking at the people that we want to kind of fight against. But then also cognitively, we know it's not going to get us anywhere. They're not going to change their mind. They're not going to see us differently. So why bother? And that can be where a lot of frustration comes in. And then the doubts and the fears of the shadows. Well, if that person thinks that about me and is making it hard for me to do my job or making me feel bad about my job and the way that I'm moving forward and what it is that I'm succeeding at, then who else is thinking that, but just not saying it? And so we face the moon, and the moon brings out a lot of our fears, a lot of our doubts, a lot of our angers, a lot of our upsets, a lot of what we hide from the light of day. And it can become very overwhelming. The night might not be restful, but the night is also beautiful. It's the reflective light of the sun coming forward. It is beauty, it is an understanding, it is a grace, it is a brilliance, it is a sense of calming and centering and winding down. And so the moon brings us greater knowledge, greater insight, greater peace. And, excuse me, and it lets us see that we do not have to fear the shadows. And so as you're embracing the moon, you're led to the tower. We fear what brings change. We fear what we do not understand. And the tower is change. Tower is divinity saying, okay, it's time to get out of your comfort zone. It's time to move forward. And as you're moving forward and you're out of your comfort zone, you're not going to really like it. It's going to be like, what the heck is this? I'm not ready for it. I don't know it. And the tower brings tremendous change. But it can be an internal change. It can be an external change. It can be a change you've been going through for 16 years or better. And you're looking at things and it's like, man, it can be a change that you've been going through since you were 16, and it can be intense, just absolutely intense. It's like you haven't found your footing. You haven't found the place that you want to stand or what it is that you desire. And when you start to find it, or if you found it, there's that questioning that is coming in, that fear of, like, how is this my passion? Or how do I get other people to understand? What is that old saying? My grandma used to say it all the time. My mom says it now. What other people think of you is none of your business. That's it. And that's really important. What other people think of you is none of your business. So here, for your money, for your career, for the way that you move forward, you know that you have been through this life-changing time, all right? Because you have. You know that where you stand now is hard won and absolutely, well earned. And nobody gets to take that away from you. There are going to be people during this time who make you doubt yourself, who make you angry, who make you, think, well, I'll show you. And the fact of the matter is, to be really honest with you, they won't care. If you are successful, they will try to take credit for your success. Or they will try to tell you that that success is going to fall apart anyway. So what are you even proud of? That type of thing. It's just a bit of nastiness. How do you get to be happy? How do you get to be successful when I'm not? And that's where that person is coming from. And I do see this very strongly during this time where there is this sense of this person who's just like, as you're moving forward, especially within your career, they're going to try and bombard your heart with your failures, with, things that they don't think is right, okay? And it's none of their business. They're not living your life. They're living their life. And, excuse me, even if they're doing a magnificent job of living their life, you don't know what happens behind closed doors. And so here with the Three of Pentacles, it's like, look at what you are successful at. Look at the beauty that shines upon you. Look at the beauty that leads you forward and embrace it. Because it's been well earned, okay? Hard earned. You've worked hard for this. And it's astoundingly powerful. And it leads you to the Wheel of Fortune. It leads you to a new dawn, a new day, a new way of seeing things, new understanding. And you might feel very well like you've been on a roller coaster ride. And I mean, who doesn't feel like this year has been a roller coaster ride? But especially during this time, it's like you have your highs, your lows, your lefts, your rights, and you're looking at and just wanting the stability to come back into the life, stability to guide you forward. And you do have that stability coming. You are releasing a lot of negativity that has held you back before. There's a darkness before the dawn in the public arena. Excuse me. And nightmares that need to be faced before you can truly embrace the beauty and the balance that is you. You have the Minor Arcana Justice card right here. So as the Wheel of Fortune moves you forward, you're going to see things that are just out of whack. All right, with the Six of Pentacles, it's what everybody puts on you and says, oh, well, I need this, and oh, well, I need that, and oh, do this, and oh, do that. And you're going to be sitting there and be like, okay, can we just balance this out a bit? Can we not be so rude about it all? Because you'd be more than happy to help if they weren't rude. And that's also going to be something you have to watch out for here, Libra, is being taken advantage of. It's like there needs to be this balance. There needs to be this understanding. And so as you're looking at your prosperity, especially in the realm of money, it's like these are my boundaries. This is what I desire. This is what I need. This is where I'm headed. And this is where I'm going. And so here, when everybody tries to add more and more and more, it's like, no, stop. And it's time to really look at boundaries. Because as everything is changing, you need to kind of set down these boundaries, especially within work. Because there's going to be a sense here that people will put more and more on your plate, but they're not going to give you a bonus. They're not going to pay you extra. They're not even at times going to give you credit for it. Okay? That credit is shining on you. People are going to be seeing it, but there needs to be a balance, or there needs to be kind of like a talk had, either with yourself internally, like, why am I putting in all this extra work if nobody is really, getting how much work that I'm doing? And it's not a petty way. It is not a petty way. It is I am realizing my worth way. And that's going to move you forward in an extraordinary way. That's going to bring the extraordinary as being part of your ordinary within your life. And it brings you into a place of balance. And as you say this, and it isn't, Spirit wants me to make it clear, like, it isn't having a fight with people at work. It isn't, sitting there and saying, you know what, you've been taking advantage of me and I've had enough. Though if you've had enough, this is the time where you start planning, where you sit there and you line up your ducks. Why? Because it's easier to get a job when you have a job. And isn't that the truth? If you've ever been in the position where it's otherwise, you definitely know. And so here, as you're looking at things, you're setting things up so that your world becomes more balanced. This is also setting up what you need to be balanced within your life, home life and work life and, everything in between. For some of you, there's a sense of school around, a sense of either, going back to school or taking extra courses or taking courses or, just broadening your horizons as you learn things yourself, opening up the doors for you, because there's so much knowledge at our fingertips right now that the world is open in a way that we couldn't have imagined before. And so here you're balancing the scales, and you're balancing the scales when it comes to money, and you are making yourself more marketable. If you've been thinking of making yourself more marketable, this is the time to do it. And it brings you to the King of Pentacles. It brings you to prosperity, leading you forward. It brings you to wealth, to money, to what you value as much as money, to seeing the connections coming in and seeing the connections that had eluded you before really coming together. And you're like, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I'm heading for. And this is what I'm achieving. And so here with the King of Pentacles, there's a sense of real success around you, real prosperity and abundance and determination that leads you forward, that opens up the door. And as you embrace it, you see the Ten of Swords. You see the darkness before the dawn. You see everything that you have been through over the last decade, all right? All the hurts, all the pains, all the disappointments, like one sword after another being stabbed into you each year. And you are finding the passion, the brilliance, the beauty of your truth leading you forward. You are looking at things and you are saying, this is what's right for me and this isn't. I have learned so much, and it isn't bad to have gone through difficult times. It isn't bad to have lessons that have shaped you and forged you and hurt you, but you have grown from. That isn't bad. What is bad is to never have grown, to never have learned. And so here you're embracing it. You're embracing a cycle, an end of the cycle of the mind, a kind of combination of wisdom, this brilliance, this beauty, and the sun then shining on you, the world opening up, and it's you seeing it in a whole new way. And it has you facing nightmares, doubts, fears, angers, upsets, upheavals, chaos. It has you looking at things and saying, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done being ruled by fear. I'm done letting myself stay up all night worrying about this and worrying about that and thinking that I've done wrong and not knowing how to move forward. I'm done. I get to embrace my grace. I get to stop being afraid all the time. Because Libra, you want everything to be balanced. You want everything to be perfect. It's like, I just want everything to be perfect. Why can't it be? It's like, because life is life. And it just isn't. There's chaos all different ways and when you least expect it. And so with the Nine of Swords is looking at things and it's saying my mind doesn't get to be my trap. I don't get to worry myself into the ground. I don't get to, take away every single blessing that I have and say, well, it's just not enough. I'm looking at who I am and I'm seeing how I move, how I strive forward in this world, how I embrace the power of my grace. And that is you being discerning and just to yourself. It's you balancing the scales and saying, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I love. This is what I want. This is me. The balance is coming in. The sense of, yes, I get it. I see it. You might not see it all the time because it comes out like a star behind clouds, okay? Or like the moon behind clouds. Sometimes it glows through. Sometimes the clouds are super, super thick, so you can't even see the moon, but it shines for you and it leads you forward. It leads you forward to the sense of knowledge, to the sense of understanding, to the sense of harmonizing truth. And justice isn't just the letter of the law. You can get very caught up, Libra, with being too just. Okay? It is discernment. It is saying, this is the energy that is right for me. It might not be right for anybody else, but it is right for me. This is the power that is right for me. And I embrace it, and I move forward with it, and I'm guided by it. Excuse me. And let's go deeper. Libra, December 2020 money and career. Libra, December 2020 money and career. Libra, December 2020 money and career. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Oh, and let's look at the people you need to be mindful of during this time. Who are the people that Libra needs to be mindful of? December 2020, money and career. Who are the people Libra needs to be mindful of? December 2020, money and career. Who are the people Libra needs to be mindful of? December 2020, money and career. There is, here during this whole reading, there's a catch in the back of my throat that keeps choking me just a bit. So there is a sense that during this time, it's going to be like the words are being held back. They're like catching in your throat. Really focus on your throat chakra. That is going to be so absolutely powerful for you during this time, to focus on your throat chakra, to speaking your truth, to moving in your purpose, to moving in your power of self and of life. So angels, okay, fantastic. Show me clearly. Guide this reading. Awesome. So we have here the Prince of Wands. This is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is a person who's rather hot-headed. They charge forward. They think they have everything figured out. They're not really going to think things through. They're just going to go for it. And this is a person who you can get really excited with. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, brilliant idea, absolutely. And it's just not right. It is just not right. Don't let yourself be pulled in by them, because they're kind of selling themselves a bit of a story, and it's just not going to be right for you. Okay, it's not really going to be right for them either. They're going to sit there and either come back, if you don't know this person and they're talking on a podcast, or they have a channel, and they could be like, oh, it just didn't work, or they never mention it again and they were so excited about it before. It's like, don't get caught up in their nonsense. Then we have the Princess of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. This is a person who is a total drama llama, just absolutely one drama after another, after another, after another. And you can become exhausted by it, because you're really going to be pulled in. You're really going to sit there and feel like, oh, I have to help you out, or what can I do for you? How can you move forward? And you're going to be sitting there, and there is going to be a point where, like, enough is enough. You've had enough and you're done. So just be mindful of this with the Princess of Cups. That they can drain you dry. Yeah, if you let them. Justice, Libra energy. This could be a fellow Libra who is very letter of the law, who isn't going to be, who isn't going to embrace being discerning, like having the balance come forward. What's right for you doesn't have to be right for everybody else, and who understands it. This is going to be a person, now they might not be a Libra energy, this is just going to be a person who's very blunt, factual. Everything has to be A or B, has to be just like this, and that's that. And you're not going to do well with that during this time, because during this time is a time of discovery, is a time of deeper connection with the self and with the soul, and so you don't want to be constrained or restrained at all. So you have the Tower again. Now, instead of at your heart, it's in your inner self. So this is something very personal that has happened to you. And yeah, I dare to say that Spirit is showing that it's happened a while ago, or it's bringing up memories of things that have happened before. And now what you're seeing here is like looking at this truth again. Things have been changing, and you have, oh goodness, the Seven of Swords. Yeah, and the Three of Swords. Okay, that makes sense. The Seven of Cups, truth, the repeat of the number 7. Truth is going to be so important to you. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune here is at your heart. Here, it is in your public arena. There we go. So things start changing within your heart, and they start changing in the outer world. You now have Justice coming up. You have you in the Major Arcana coming up in every single deck. Spirit is saying here, and don't take this the wrong way, don't get in your own way. Don't get too rigid. Don't, sit there and think that things have to be just for everybody else and forget about yourself, because there's a sense of you needing to balance the scales and remembering you as you do so. It's like you're recalibrating everything and you're remembering to count yourself. 10 of Cups, you have the 10 of Cups rooting you in your inner self. Now you have it crowning you in the public arena, so that's beautiful. The 9 of Cups, a wish being granted. And the 7 of Wands. Now you have 3 sevens. So the divinity is really saying here truth and deeper spiritual knowledge is going to be so important to you. You're going to be drawn to spiritual texts of all religions, of all ways of life. There's going to be beauty and real resonance in there for you. So the Tower here is over the King of Cups and the Page of Swords. The Tower here is over you. It's over your heart and your mind as you move forward. You've been burnt in the past. Things have fallen apart. They've been hard and overwhelming, and you've doubted and you've feared and you've questioned the way that you move forward. But you can't let this change. And this has been a huge change that kind of reset the way that you look at the world. I laugh because it's not really a laugh. It's like, oh my goodness. Because most people, all right, who really start living in their purpose, they've been through the Tower, and they've been through the Tower more than once, and the Tower has forged them. It has changed them, and it's usually something big. And so here it can also be something small that brings something big forward, brings forward like the memories of a past loved one that said, follow your dreams or listen to your soul, and you're like, why aren't I doing this? And so here there's real power. There's true power here. And you're looking at the change. And this is a change that divinity says, get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone and start moving forward. Because you walk the way of kings. You do. You walk in the truth of your soul, and excuse me, in the truth of what you love, and you become a student of your passion, of what you desire. And it leads you to the 7 of Swords. It leads you to taking what you need, leaving some things behind, and saying, I need to move forward. People might sit there and call you sneaky. They might get mad at you. They might not understand. That's fine. This is you. This is you doing what's right for your life, okay? As you take this gift. And it really does set you on a different course. And it can be a course that some people just don't understand, and that's fine. The 3 of Swords, heartbreak, pain, disappointment, anger, upset. It's feeling like you can't fly. It's feeling like you've been shut down. Okay, you were heading towards your goals, you were heading on the right path, and then things fell apart. The 3 of Swords is looking at the arrows that have pierced you, that have taken you from your flight. And so when you look at them, you give voice to them. You give them honor and respect. Why? Because there is some reason why we hold on to certain pains and not others. It's because they start to follow a pattern. And we all have patterns in our lives. Times where we think we're not good enough, or themes where we think we're not good enough. We think we're not this enough. We think that, we can't possibly move forward. And then we find things in the world that reiterate this. And the scars go deep, and they keep on going deep because the wound is already there. And so here, with the 3 of Swords, it's addressing the hurt and the pain, and it's giving honor to it. It's giving respect to it, because it has forged you in a way. It's been your fire. But also, it is a damaged part of your soul that doesn't need to be, yelled at anymore. It's hurt enough. It's like taking somebody who's super afraid. It's like, okay, so the better thing is, when you're trying to calm down a dog when they're really scared and they're in the corner and they're barking and they're just terribly frightened and they're not going to stop and they can attack, right? That's like the wounded side of our psyches. It's like that wounded dog, right? So what you do is you don't go yelling at the dog and say, oh, just calm down. What the heck is wrong with you? Because that makes everything worse. You sit there with the dog. You give them treats. You gain their trust. It can take a really, really, really long time. But you start building that relationship. And that's what you need to do with yourself, because that brings you to the 10 of Cups. That brings you to your happily ever after, because you're not beating yourself up anymore for things that were out of your control, for negativity that was spoken over you, wounds that happened when you were already vulnerable, all right? And you start repairing. It doesn't mean the hurt will never be there again. It doesn't mean that somebody won't say something stupid or, be a bit of a jerk. And it sinks to those wounds, and it brings up this anger, and it brings up this doubt within yourself. It means that they don't get to have that power over you anymore. And that hurt and that pain doesn't get to have that power over you anymore. And so you start to set yourself free. And you start to fly your path and soar to new heights. And then with the Seven of Cups, you start to look at your dreams. The Queen of Fire, the Queen of Passion, at the moon, at your dreams. Okay, you dream at night, right? And so you're being guided by your dreams. You're being guided what your heart desires. And instead of keeping your dreams on the back shelf and saying, no, the world is too nasty for my dreams to be brought forward, for my dreams to be lived. It's too much, they'll ruin it. It's sitting there and saying, I owe it to myself to start living my dreams. And that's what changes your world. It really does. It brings a new dawn, a new season out of this chaos, out of you being pushed so far out of your comfort zone, you don't even remember it anymore. And you see yourself flying forward, because if you look at this tower, you have all doves flying forward. It brings peace. And I love sparrows. Sparrows are my absolute favorite birds because they work as a family unit, and the family, to me, is so terribly important. And they can also take down eagles because they work together. So here there's a force, and there's a strength, and there's a power in us working together with the universe, of us, of us charging forward into this change, into this new dawn, into this new day. And you need to find your balance, Libra. You need to embrace and express and, love the essence of yourself, because it balances the scales. It moves you forward in a greater truth. It moves you forward in a greater power. And it brings you to the 10 of Cups. It brings you to when they all live happily ever after. Once you find this balance, as you embrace this change, beauty, passion, brilliance comes forward. And it moves you in love. It moves you in what you value in this world. It doesn't have to be being in love with life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But it means that when you slow down and you think, after all the chaos has died away, and you've raged or you've rebelled or anything like that, and you look at it and you're like, oh, this is pretty darn good, isn't it? Isn't it? But sometimes you have to have a tantrum like a 5-year-old. You just have to scream it out and get annoyed and look at the world and shake your fist and go, it isn't fair. And then you remember it's not supposed to be. It would be lovely if it was. But how then do you rectify the horror of the world? Love needs to come in. And if more people embrace the love that they have for their lives, for themselves, this beauty, not this selfishness, but this beauty, in the Greeks would call it agape love. It is the love that they say, Christ had. So you have erotic love, you have familial love, which is the love of the family. Erotic love is, erotic love, and I forget the Greek word for it. That's where our erotica comes from. And then you have here agape love. So it goes from sexual love to, building a family base, building the base of people where they become like family to you, And then it's that transcendent love that says, I love. And I open my heart. I respect. I think respect is a really good word for it. And I open my heart in love and in honor and in truth. And I think for us as human beings, saying respect is really much easier than saying, I love you so much that I will die for you. It is saying, I respect this world. I see, do unto others as you would have done unto you. I live by that golden rule. And I move forward in that golden truth. And that transcends everything. That empowers so deeply, so passionately, so beautifully, that it leads you to the 9 of Cups. It leads you to a wish being granted as your prosperity comes forward, because in the public arena, people are taking note of you, are taking note of how well you are doing, and the balance that is coming in, and the passion that is guiding you forward, and the way that you connect things, and the way that you're seeing things, and your way with money, but also with people, and making people feel comfortable. And it brings a sense of this wealth coming in, these wishes coming forward. And it's going to be really easy for everybody else to see that there's something special about you. And it's going to also be really easy for you not to see that about yourself. For you to, undermine yourself, poo-poo it, think, there's nothing great about me. There is. There's no other person in the world quite like you. And it's time to embrace the beauty that's within. Let it shine. Because as you do, the Seven of Wands, I knew you were going to get the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is like, I know when to fight and I know when to walk away. Because I cannot deal with everybody's nonsense anymore. I'm not even going to try. Because I stand in my truth. I stand in my power. My fears do not get to define me anymore. My passion, my dedication, my discernment of my life, of my joy, of my desires, they get to move me forward. So let's see what your spirit animal cards have to say. Libra, December 2020 money and career, Libra. 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 Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic, these three. We have here the peacock spirit. Let it shine. Let your heart shine. Let your love shine. You will not be disappointed. I mean, you might sit there and look at everybody and be like, are you kidding me? Don't be such a fool type of thing. But if you let your heart shine and you move in that heart's truth, you will start to see your world starting to change. You will start to see this power and this brilliance coming around you and adding a grace and adding a real beauty to your life. It brings you to the owl spirit. You see clearly now. You do. You see more clearly. You see more justly. You see more honestly than you have seen before. And this really connects you to seeing behind the veil of people and to embracing deeper wisdom, deeper passion, deeper understanding. And it brings you to the rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time. Now is your lucky time. So embrace that love. And embrace that love and embrace that luck. And move forward in it. Don't think, oh my gosh, there are trials here. I got the tower twice. I'm never going to move forward because the tower is only in 2 decks. So I got the tower in both decks. I'm never going to be able to move forward. It's like, no, there has been this huge change and it's all centered around you because you've gotten Libra, okay, Libra in each and every deck. And so here, as you're moving forward, you need to balance the scales for you. Address what needs to be addressed because the change that you have been going through, the power that is around you, it has been so intense. It is so much that it needs to be looked at. Things sometimes need to be recalibrated or reevaluated. It's like, okay, well, I don't really want that anymore, but I want this. And you start to look at things more openly, more honestly, more kind of you-centric, but not in a bratty way, in an honest way of saying, this is my life and this is how I need to ascend within it. And it makes you absolutely empowered, absolutely emboldened. And it brings you to your subconscious spirit animal message, which is the North Spirit, surrender now. Surrender now to this change. Surrender now to the power that divinity has been guiding you in. And know that it's in divine timing, not our timing, which I don't know about you, but me personally, I'm like, I just want things in my timing. Divinity, you can calm down a little bit, but it never works that way. Divine timing guides. Divine timing transforms. And if you surrender to it, and you know that things happen in their way, and they don't always have to happen, exactly the way that other people think they should. It's your life. You get to live it in the way that's right for you. That leads you forward. Your subconscious chakra message is nurturing the Earth Star chakra. You are nurturing the inner child of yourself. You are nurturing what is foundationally so absolutely important to you. And as you nurture it, you are empowered. You are emboldened. It brings you to your subconscious person message, which is the King of Pentacles. Embrace your prosperity. There's an interconnectedness. We see this in the public arena, the way that you move forward, the way that you put things together, the passion, the power, but also it can also be a connection with an earth sign energy that helps you see things in a way that you hadn't before, helps you bring forward that power, that understanding in a way that you didn't think was possible. And so you start seeing that interconnectedness. You start embracing that deeper prosperity that is a part of you, and you let it shine. It's also addressing here because the King of Pentacles rules through wealth and prosperity. It's also embracing that wealth and prosperity. It's saying, I am not a pauper. I am a king. And I sit on the throne of my existence. And I am prosperous and I am bountiful and I am always evolving and moving forward and obtaining more. But it is building a wealth mentality. And I know that that sounds so silly, and you might sit there and be like, oh, Dane, yes, you can just believe it into existence. But here's the thing. The mind does not know the difference between make-believe and reality. It just doesn't. That's why you can get immersed in a really good movie, a really good book. So here, if you start thinking and seeing yourself as the king of financial success, as seeing yourself as financially abundant, right? As embracing this prosperity and these gifts and these bounties, you will start to change like the way that your mind looks at things, the way that your mind views you. And so it'll start to change the decisions that you make because your mind is already seeing you as somebody who is successful, as somebody who is emboldened by that success. And so it can be astounding, the change that comes forward. And then it brings you to your subconscious tarot message, which is the star. Subconsciously, you are reaching for the stars. You are going after your dreams. And divinity is seeing what is deeply and desperately important to you. And it's bringing it forward. It's not when we cross our fingers and wish upon a star, type of thing. It's the deep, deep dreams that we have, deep desires that we have for our lives that are so precious to us that we don't want them to see the light of day at times. We're afraid that if we go after them, we can ruin it, and then even our dreams would be ruined. This is our deepest passion and our greatest truth. And this is us looking and connecting to the highest form of man's perfection. Because the stars are what man looked up at the sky, back when our ancestors roamed the plains and looked up at the vastness and was just completely overwhelmed. The pyramids were constructed to the stars. People guided their paths on land and on sea by the stars. So by the stars here, you are being blessed, but you are also seeing almost, it sounds so romantic to say, but the way of gods, the way of greater truth, the way of greater passion, greater power as man has evolved and as our thought process has evolved. And so here you're looking towards the divinity within you, the God's head within you, and you're embracing it more openly and more honestly. And it brings you to your subconscious tarot message, which is the Magician. You are embracing your magic, your passion, your power, your brilliance. You are seeing the beauty. I'm sorry about my nephew. You are seeing the beauty that lays before you, and you are embracing this magic. You are seeing the 4 elements of you. You are seeing the passion that is a part of you, and you are opening yourself up to the bounty that guides you forward. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a wiping away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we move forward in our passion, in our brilliance, and in our truth. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony Libra.